To me, it looks like Team USA versus Team Canada is on a collision course for the gold medal in this year's Olympics. Canada just beat Spain 88-85. I'm going to break down that game very quickly and then get into why I think this matchup looks like it's going to happen, among other things. Now, Canada's starting lineup for this game against Spain, they had Lou Dort, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dwight Powell, RJ Barrett, and Dylan Brooks. I bring that up because in the exhibition games when they faced Team USA, they had Jamal Murray in the starting lineup. And one of the things I noticed right away in that game was Canada did a great job in staying right there with Team USA. It's when their bench came in, when everything seemed to fall apart a little bit. They had Lou Dort coming off the bench, Nembhard, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Minnesota Timberwolves. All three of those guys are great defenders, but they're not known for scoring. And that's where Canada really took a hit in that game against America. And anytime the game was closer, it looked like they were about to really make a comeback, the gap widened as soon as America's bench came in, and then they had to give a rest to Jamal Murray and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I will say, though, moving forward, I think Jamal Murray should be in the starting lineup. I probably would have RJ coming off the bench instead. He's still very capable of scoring. Jamal Murray is just too good, in my opinion, to have coming off the bench and not in combination with a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Though I could also hear the argument that having both of those guys who are pretty ball dominant, maybe it would be better to have one off the bench, but I'm leaning towards no, play them both. Canada does have quite a bit of NBA talent, but not enough to sacrifice one of their best players to come off the bench. Let's get into this game versus Spain, though. And when I was watching this for the first three quarters, because I'm going to get into the fourth, which was crazy, but the first three quarters, it was kind of like when I was watching other teams against Team USA. They struggle to get in the paint, right? And that's because they don't have the actual talent and skill set and athleticism to dribble, penetrate, get by defenders. And what happens is they end up circulating the ball constantly on the perimeter, but there is no penetration, no person that could really beat a guy off the dribble and get to the basket most of the time. And that's what I saw from Spain within the first three quarters. The only player they really had that was able to do somewhat what I was saying was Lorenzo Brown. To no surprise, he was a former NBA player. And Canada had Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort just harassing them, really giving them a hard time. That was the only person I saw who was a threat, at least dribbling-wise. Which is why one of their players on Spain, Sergio Yui, I believe his name was, he was jacking up a lot of threes, and sometimes it didn't look good or even had a chance of going in. Canada made a lot of mistakes defensively, or I want to say not respecting the three-point shot because they knew, okay, they can't get to the rim. It just looked like they wanted them to shoot, and they left a lot of wide-open shots that eventually started hurting them towards the end. They also fouled a lot of three-point shots as well. They had a 4-point play, Spain, and just little mistakes that Canada was making that they shouldn't have done. But despite all of this, the game seemed like Canada's to win. The pace, the control, they weren't convincingly blowing them out, but there wasn't any point where I remember Spain even up by maybe more than 1 or 2 points if they were leading at any moment. And another key indicator that was a good sign for Canada, it was a balanced scoring. And the reason why I say that is if you're facing a team like Spain, where this is not like the 2008 team, you would think that if you are in the USA stratosphere, anywhere in their ballpark, this is a game where you wouldn't have to rely on the Shai Gilgeous to bail you out. You have enough talent to beat the team. Jamal Murray didn't really have a good game either, and down the stretch it was Nembhard who really saved Canada. And this is where the whole game changed in the fourth quarter, because a man by the name of Dario on Spain literally scored, I think, close to 20 points in the fourth quarter, and all the issues that I outlined that Spain was having in the first three quarters, not getting good dribble penetration to the basket, really a shot creator that could create a shot off the dribble and get things going. Dario was doing this throughout the whole quarter, and now it seemed like, oh wait, Spain is right back in the game and they can win. And lucky for Canada, again, Nembhard started hitting some really, really tough shots down the stretch, and Canada was able to pull out a very tight game. Let's switch gears and talk about the landscape of the whole Olympics and other teams that I think is a threat. We know that the NBA is the highest, most difficult professional league of any basketball league that is out there. I think we could all agree on that, right? And so when I'm judging all these other teams, I'm looking at basically which teams have NBA talent. Greece got Giannis Antetokounmpo, but to me, that's a one-man show. Who's his running mate? Who are his other teammates that he could depend on? I kind of look at Serbia the same way. You have Nikola Jokic. Okay, great. You have a Nikola Jovic from Miami Heat. He's a great player to me, or he's a good player, I could say. But who else is on that team? And so we could go look at even Puerto Rico. They have Navarro from the Pelicans, very feisty point guard, shooting guard, plays with a lot of effort, tenacity on defense, but he's a role player in the NBA, and that's their best player on the squad. Germany has Dennis Schroeder, who plays really good internationally, Franz Wagner. I understand I'm just looking at names on paper. This is just me looking at who I know and the names at the back of the jersey. Of course, hard work beats talent. I'm not saying it's impossible for any of these teams to upset, but it seems unlikely to me. And so that leaves the only other two teams who I think have a chance at beating Canada or upsetting even America, and that is Australia and France. Canada just had a close game with Australia, which they won. France, we know that they have Victor Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert, Nicholas Batum. So those two teams, 1 through 15 or however many people are on the roster, there's NBA talent that you can see. It's not just 1 or 2 guys and then there's a huge drop-off. To conclude, my prediction is America versus Canada in the gold medal game for the Olympics. If that doesn't happen, I'm going to go with America versus France. I want y'all to hit me up in the comment section and let me know, who do you think is going to be the gold medal game? Who do you see upsetting America if that happens? Who has the best chance? And let me know, gold, silver, bronze, who do you see winning? Like and subscribe as well. And as always, peace. Salute for listening.